Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, we destroyed a subspace relay station on the moon. That is or at least it seems like right now, that is the final alien spacecraft in our solar system. And now we're going to be setting up a communication network because obviously all our satellites were destroyed by the aliens. We really need to re-implement all that so that it just simplifies tracking spaceships and also might allow us to create battle drones, which could save Kerbal lives when the aliens finally realize that we've destroyed their station. So we're just going to take this. This is going to be launching straight into a geostationary orbit. It has 5 small satellites, and the actual main rocket is going to be used as a large relay station to send all the information back to the planet. You can see there opening up with its solar panels. Very beautiful shot of it flying over Kerbin. This isn't a very exciting episode. I know I promised that we were going to be doing more, and well, I guess technically this is more, but it's not exactly battling. But we need to have all of this set in place for when the aliens do come. In the next episode, I think we are going to be building the ships that we're going to need to defend ourselves. Because, well, it's pretty obvious that we're outgunned in the previous fights with the aliens. They kind of destroyed us. So we're going to be building battle cruisers and all sorts of things. We've basically pulled together all the resources of basically everyone on Kerbin. Kerbals aren't very big on secrecy, so basically all the public know all the details. Because this is a global fight and we need all the support we can get. And it doesn't really take much to convince people that we need to protect ourselves from aliens. Especially since some people really wanted their internet back. So we've gotten a geostationary orbit and we are detaching a probe. These are driven by ion engines. Incredibly efficient, which we're going to need because, well, I guess we could take about a year and use hardly any fuel, but we want to get this done quickly. Partially because of impatience and also because we do have a deadline. We want this up and we want to test it and make sure it works properly in about a month. So, I'm just planning to divide roughly into sixths? I cannot pronounce that. We're launching another one, and we're going to be sending it the opposite direction, slowing it down so it comes in. Actually, it's going to come in front of us, and the one we launched forward is going to come in behind us. I guess I could explain that, but you kind of just have to figure all of that out when you're teaching yourself how to rendezvous. Basically, lower orbits go around faster, and you can always just use the intersect predictor, and it'll tell you if you're getting closer or further away. The most efficient way to do it is to burn away, but of course once you get within about 1 kilometer, you can go ahead and start burning toward it. Or, no, not like 2 kilometers, you can start burning toward it. But before that, you want to be burning away from your target, and then you want to do a full orbit, and then you'll be closer, and then you can start burning towards it again. So, here we are recircularizing, I think? Yes, we are recircularizing, and we're going to go ahead and point this toward Kerbin, so there's 2 big satellite dishes, or they're not that big, but they can track any of the craft in lower Kerbin orbit than geostationary. And I don't think we're going to be doing any fighting beyond geostationary orbit. We're going to try to keep it all close to Kerbin so that we can re-enter and kind of rescue Kerbals by having them re-enter in a lifeboat. And also it just seems like a waste of resources to put all of our people way out in a big orbit. So we're lining up the second satellite. It probably would have been more efficient if I launched them all at once, which I probably could have. They weren't very likely to hit each other. I might have to be a little cautious, but they probably wouldn't run into each other. The main reason I didn't do that is I kind of wanted to use the satellites as a visual reference. So this one, I'm going to have to burn a lot further, activating the engine. And I'm actually going to have to go double what you would think, because I'm going to be coming in behind the main relay station, but there's already a satellite behind it, so I have to kind of come in 2 spots behind it. So you have to go ahead and account for that. We're launching our final one, and that third one we're going to be putting on the exact opposite side of the orbit, which is going to take a lot of fuel and a very long burn with an ion engine. I almost wonder if I had enough RCS fuel to do these burns, because the RCS does have a lot more thrust than the ion engine, and the little bit I did use it didn't really burn through that much. But here you can see this is actually going to be quite a long burn too. We have to get it up to about... We're about halfway there now, I think. Yeah. So that's getting really close to Kerbin, but the one that's going to be on the opposite side is going to be coming down, and I'm kind of worried at this point that I might be hitting the atmosphere, which would then require me to plan it out and use multiple orbits. But we're coming in here. This is the lowest orbit, so it's going to be coming around first, coming into the front of the pack, and we're setting up a burn. You can see we slow down towards periaps, and that other satellite starts to catch up with us. Speed up a little bit, and skip forward because it's quite a long burn. And there we go. I use the RCS and get it to about 0 meters per second, so it's the most accurate orbit we can. We'll of course use the tracking station to find all of these, all of their exact orbits, so that we can more accurately track objects with them. Because in order to track an object with another object in orbit, you have to know the exact orbit of the object you're tracking with, because it's going to be the relative point you're basing off of. Most of our tracking is done with the station as well as accelerometers on the probes. The accelerometers roughly calculate how much stress is being applied in what direction, which then gives us a rough estimate of the orbit. So we're going and getting close. This is the one that's going to be on the opposite side of the orbit. Luckily, it didn't end up in the atmosphere, but it comes around really quick, actually before the other satellite we launched even, which you can see there in the really wide orbit. So we go ahead, do our burn, and then we're going to go ahead and switch to that second satellite. So finishing up the burn here, making sure everything's evened out with the RCS, the most accurate orbit we can, just to simplify all of the work we're going to have to do later, and also to make sure it doesn't drift too far out of formation. So switching to the final probe, we're going to bring it down, and this is going to be coming in, I don't even remember where its position is. All you need to know is that we have 6 satellites floating around Kerbin, roughly evenly spaced. They don't have to be perfectly even spaced. You can probably get away with 4 satellites and track most of the area around Kerbin, but with 6, there's much more room for error. So, evening out with RCS, though we're struggling, so we just go ahead and point at it and burn the engine. And there we go. That's it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to be building some warships. I'm Athy. Thanks for watching.